have always wondered how certain section of people alone got a lot of respect in an area. How different language people came to settle here and influence the native people. When I was looking to understand the village life, how barren lands got converted to villages and how different kinds of people resided in a single village, I came across Gopalapuram. Hello everyone, welcome back to BooksDotCom Litcan with me Subhashini. Interestingly, this book was recommended as one of the top 10 Tamil books to be read by Kamal Haasan and the Bigg Boss show. So it got more popular in recent times. Now don't ask me if I follow the show. I was curious only about the book recommendations. Till then, I hadn't heard of Gopalapuram, and I'm very glad that Penguin is taking the step to publish translated works and making readers aware of what gems we have in our trove of Indian literature. A selection of K. Rajanarayan's books are translated into English by Preetham K. Chakravarti, but this review is based on the Gopalla Gramam book, which is translated by M. Vijayalakshmi. Gopalla Gramam is a Tamil classic written by K. Rajanarayanan in 1976. He is popularly known as Kira by his Tamil initials. This 150-page long novella documents the 130-year-old saga of a Nayakar family spanning from the Kumbhini period till 1850s, when Queen Victoria takes over India from the British East India Company. The novel kickstarts with the murder of a pregnant woman who belongs to the village. Surprisingly, this death scene is used in Bharati Raja's Mudal Maryadai. Now, as the case of the murder is tried, we travel back and forth between the village's history, each character's personal story, and then back to the present. Somewhat like the character flashbacks from the movie City of God. This novel is definitely not meant to be read the way we read modern novels, because regular books have a story around a set of characters and thereby the story develops. But I found Gopalapuram quite different. You would be left with disappointment if you go in expecting a coherent narrative and full-fledged characters. From the flow of the story and the style, you could sense that this might have been a real story, passed down orally through generations. It has a folklore kind of mysticism to it, gained probably through its many retellings. The book is centered on the family of Nayakars who escaped from the Nizam's rule. They undertake a strenuous journey to reach a forest in Tamil Nadu, build their village by burning down the Karisal Kadu, and settle down. They adapt to Tamil practices while retaining their own language and culture. This farming village is held together by a simple system and faces the threat of the times like famine, dacoits, and crimes. The current generation lived as a joint family on the western street in a high-storied house called the Kotayar House, which is now in ruins. From there, the book leads us through the family legends told by Mangatayaru Ammal, the matriarch of the Nayakar family. She recounts the trials and tribulations that they had been through and the miracles and successes they witnessed. Honestly, I haven't read a book which describes people spanning over 5 generations so colorfully. Every character is priceless in his/her quirks. I can't really choose one favorite. Govindappa Nayakar, Ur Kudumban, Josiam Venkatarailu, Pedda Gontu Kottaya, all of them are enchanting. The jobs these characters did in those times was fun to read. The book had primarily male characters, despite the 2 strong women characters who probably were instrumental in the entire origin story. The detailed descriptions of the way of life during the bygone era, including the Thiveti Kollayar, that is highway robbers, locust famines, origin of their beliefs, polygamy, only the men had the habit of marrying sisters, surprising facts about domesticating wild cattle and rearing them, the swift and often brutal justice system, the food and religious practices of the people, everything is so expertly written that you begin to picturize the innocent villagers and the characters as you read. The book never comes to the reason why the Kotayar house went into ruins till the end. It's more of a brilliant anthropological documentation intertwined with study of lives of the characters rather than a novel. Kira tries to paint a picture of land and its people through their legends and myths, and the language he uses has regional flavor. And the innovative use of common slang is delectable. He expertly incorporates the slangs of the Karisal Nilamakkal without being unnatural. Even though there are flaws in the way the story is narrated, the words and phrases used and how he sets the mood of the reader into the book are great examples of his excellence. The explanation on how a forest is being slowly converted into a village, how people tackle the difficult times, how nature helps them are so well explained that it teaches more about humans and also adds great understanding of mankind, and simultaneously the different characteristics of people makes it interesting. We also see how our community lived closely with nature during the pre-modern era. Kira writes their lives through the years with unforced mystic of folklore. So this book was way beyond its time with its non-linear way of storytelling. Hence, Kira is considered as the father of Karisal literature, and no wonder he won the Sahitya Academy Award for Gopalla Gramam in 1991, which is a sequel to this book. One can think of Nepal's Miggle Street, a literary parallel to this book, but Miggle Street chronicled only a single point of time, capturing the vibrancy of one street and one community, whereas Gopalapuram goes further. It's a sort of origin story of a particular culture and way of life. Gopalapuram is a bit tough book to write a review of, not because of anything else but because of the way the stories are layered. The people and the pathos can be felt through the pages of this book. The stories, while holding your attention, also make you think a lot. For instance, what about the highway robber who murders a pregnant woman for her jewelry? Does he have a family somewhere as well? Kira has a unique ability to make the reader feel emotive even towards his so-called anti-heroes. There are shades of grey to his writing, which is brilliant as it gives the reader the opportunity to think and ponder. This book had a lot of this should be in the movie sort of scenes, from the very first murder scene to the last scene about the grasshopper invasion. But the death by impalement was quite disturbing. I somehow read it because I haven't come across anything of this sort and was curious to know. But thinking of Kalu or impalement to impart punishment to criminals is extremely brutal, and I'm glad that such practices don't exist anymore in our society. Well, what a quaint little book about one particular village in the Karisal land, where Kira weaves legend, myth, history and good old-fashioned storytelling. So, if you're interested to know more about village life, the lively characters living there, I would recommend Gopalapuram. Of course, to those who are interested in stories related to Tamil Nadu, and also to those who want to be taken to lands and places they never imagined and to the times forgotten. Hope you liked my review. If you're listening to this on Spotify or Apple, please do rate and review our show. This would help us a lot to reach more lovely people like you. And you know where to find me on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube to share your comments, book suggestions, and if you haven't clicked that follow button, do consider doing it. You can also write to me at BooksDotCom-Subhashini@gmail.com. Thank you for staying tuned till the end. See you in the next episode of Books.com. Till then, sayonara.